and show you or remind you of today's topic, which I believe everybody is very interested in, which is engineering and management in Germany. It's a broader topic, and we have the agenda. There are some changes in the agenda, but it doesn't matter. We have all 4 presentations to be held today, and please stay tuned and wait until your preferred program, or maybe you are selecting one today. Just briefly, who is hosting this webinar? This is My German University, a database of English taught study programs. And here you can find more than 3,700 programs, which means that if you want to study in Germany partially or fully in English, you are welcome to use this database to search for your preferred program according to different criteria. You can combine multiple filters. You can order programs according or sort programs according to different selections, etc., etc. And yeah, believe me, this is worth of your time. You will be actually saving time, and this is really helpful, as I believe. What else we have is articles. Even today, if you will be asking general questions, I will be most probably sharing those general articles that are really important. Also include external links, especially the ones about visa and scholarship, which are frequently asked for. But today, I believe also bachelor's programs will be interesting for you. So we have nice information about that as well. To stay connected, we have webinars. This week we have only one subject webinar, and then another one will be on Friday. So we have only like 2 groups of webinars, subject and general webinars. And for the general ones, my colleague Marie talks about different topics like uni assist, visa, scholarships, and general studying in Germany. So there you are welcome to ask general questions, while during the subject webinars we expect, and also our guests, and I believe it will be benefit for you to ask program related questions only. And this is our great team from all over the world with experience of living and studying in Germany, 2 worldviews of internationals and Germans on the way of settling in terms of studying in Germany, and we are all here to help you with that. All right, so as I mentioned, there is a change. That's why I'm changing the slides now. And first, I would like to start with the bachelor's program, Bachelor Mechanical Engineering International Project Engineering from Ravensburg-Weingarten University of Applied Sciences. And we would like to thank Professor Dr. Ralf Stetter for being here and introducing the program to you. I stop the screen share, and this virtual mic is yours.
Okay, so I think you can see my presentation. I'm happy to be able to talk to you, to inform you about your study choices, what you can study in Germany, and especially what you can study in the very south at our university. Well, our motto is rooted in the region, but open to the world. And I hope to give you some understanding about what type of university we are and what advantages this have. So you can see here, as you also just saw by Nino, so we are not in the center of Germany, but we are in the center of Europe. So we are very close to Switzerland and Austria in the very south of Germany, close to the Lake Constance, but we'll be talking about this a bit later. So about our university is not very large. We have 3,700 students, but we offer 31 study programs, and we have nearly the full scope. We have engineering, IT, business, social work, and healthcare, and we have 100 teaching professors per 3,700 professors. So that's a very good ratio. And I talk about this also. So if you would study, that's one advantage for you. The study programs in English language that we offer is on the one hand a takeoff, a preparatory semester with German courses, with some basic science like math, physics, programming. We have an intercultural module. We do some networking with regional companies. And we have specific courses, electives for a further bachelor studies that you can do during the 6 months. Then we have bachelor programs. We have electrical engineering and IT, e-mobility and green energy. Today, what I will represent is mechanical engineering, international project engineering, and we also have a bachelor programs in mechatronics. We have 2 English-speaking or English language master programs, electrical engineering and embedded systems and mechatronics. And we can now also continue to the doctorate that's possible for University of Applied Sciences in the state of Baden-Württemberg. I will tell you a bit in the end if I present to you some success stories. So the main thing I want to talk about, I would like to inform you about, is the Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering, International Project Engineering. So if you want to develop and improve automation systems in international environment, if you are interested in modern production in what we call Industry 4.0, this is a very good program for you. You want to combine a well-founded German education engineering. So this is what Germany is sort of famous for, the engineering science, and you get current knowledge, digital systems and technology. So we have a fusions of mechanical engineering, production engineering, and automation. And it's important what you will learn is an interdisciplinary network thinking. So you will learn how to connect different things, how to analytically understand them, to synthesize new things that are part of this program. So at a glance, 7 semesters, including compulsory internship, which will be in a company full-time. You need a higher education entrance qualification, or you need a prep course, which offered, for example, by Studienkolleg, as Nino also mentioned, and an English certificate. You need TOEFL or ELTS. Your final degree is an accredited, system-accredited Bachelor of Engineering. And for the summer term, which starts in March, you have to apply until the 15th of January this year. So what is it? International Project Engineering is a study variant of mechanical engineering. It's real German Maschinenbau, but more modern, more digital. Course basis is mechanical engineering, production technology, a special focus on Industry 4.0 project management, and you should get a broad knowledge of mechanical engineering and specialized knowledge concerning manufacturing, assembly processes, and also automation technology. Also, basic business knowledge, because it's important. You need to be able to read legal contracts. You have to be able to speak with managers, with people who do the financing. So we learn this. And we have developed this with industrial companies all around the world, in Malaysia, in Germany, in Spain. And it's an interesting topic with a frequently demanded job descriptions. So a lot of companies told us, we need exactly this kind of profile. We are interested in this people worldwide, factory planning and automation in an international context. So this is about the study program. Why Ravensburg-Weingarten? Well, we say small, smart, and safe. We have 1 campus. You have short distance between our buildings. As I said, you have an excellent support ratio, 1 professor for each 37 students, and we have a close cross-faculty cooperation. We have at University of Applied Sciences, we are all professors from industry. I have worked at Audi. Colleagues of mine have worked at BMW, at Mercedes. The guy you see here is Professor Kaufmann. He has worked at Continental. He has developed turbochargers there. So we have professors with work experience in their fields of expertise who can teach you the most current trends of industry. We also have lecturers from industry. There is industry hour around our campus. I will show you. And we have very well-equipped laboratories. So you see there 1 laboratory where the car suspension is explained, and that's 1 speciality of University of Applied Science. You get very, very close to technical things, but you still have the full academic background of what we call scientific universities. So in our region, you see, we are not in the middle of Germany, but there are many important companies around us. So if you see in the middle our university, we have ZF, Zahnradfabrik Friedrichshafen, to the Lake Constance, but in 2 hours drive, we can be at Mercedes-Benz. In Stuttgart, there's Porsche, there's Bosch. In Munich, there's BMW and Siemens, Audi in Ingolstadt and Neckarsulm, but also close are Liebherr, Airbus. So we have also aircraft industry and lots and lots. So we have a lot of industry here. We are in the Schussen Valley. There's also a lot of automotive supplier companies. So a lot of contacts which industry which you can use. About the city where I live, Weingarten. Weingarten has the largest horse procession of the world, the so-called Blutritt. It's a university town. There are 25,000 people living here, but 7,000 of them are students. So many students here. There are 2 universities, we and the Pedagogical University. And you have living tradition. We have the biggest Baroque church north of the Alps. You see this in the middle. And we have this horse procession called the Blutritt. And we have the Fasnet. But that's what you see on the next page, because the twin city, which is also in the name, is Ravensburg. Ravensburg is the city of games and towers. So important games worldwide with a blue triangle come from these towns. There are 50,000 people living there. It's the hub of Upper Swabia region. It's a really nice medieval town center, and we have a rich cultural program. And you see here, you see the towers on the upper left. You see the Christmas market that will start soon on the bottom, and you also see children on what's something tradition which is called the Routenfest. You see a bit more. You see here the Fasnet, the carnival that we have here. You see the Lake Constance. You see the Swiss Alps, which you and Friedrichshafen, things you can see on a clear day. And you see on the lower right corner, that's a view from our university campus. And you see the Baroque church in front, and further in the background, you see the Ravensburg towers, and then you see the Alps. So you can see everything which you can experience here in your free time. A bit of success stories. I said you can go towards master studies, doctorate. So this is Patriva Rachel John. She was born in Delhi. She did a Bachelor of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering in India. And then she did our master. She had an internship at BMW in Munich. She was working student at Mercedes-Benz in Sindelfingen, did her master thesis at Bosch Corporate Research, and she's still at Bosch. So she's a simulation engineer, environment development at Robert Bosch. So she's right now developing and testing software in the loop environment for new braking systems, so for active safety. So a very challenging position in a very good worldwide known company that does this development. Another success story, Dr. 𝘱𝘢𝘪𝘥, so someone who did this PhD. He studied automotive engineering at our department. He did, under my guidance, also the Master of Science in Product Development, Mechanical Engineering, was then our research assistant. He did his PhD, the Doctor of Engineering, at the University of Stuttgart. There he had a development method for train gear systems, and he's product development engineer at ZF in the south of us. So he is right now developing electrical drive systems for micromobility. So a nice example, when you start now this Bachelor Mechanical Engineering, International Project Engineering, how far if it could get you if you only want. You don't need to. You can work with the bachelor. It's a full degree. You can go into the master. Then you do more scientific work, or you also go to the PhD, the doctor, and do complete scientific work. That's nothing you need to decide at the beginning of your studies, but it's ways for you that are open. So what makes us different? So the nice culture. We offer a quality education in a European accredited study program. You have very good job opportunities, and the surrounding around here, the unemployment rate is extremely low. A very nice region with the Austrian and Swiss Alps, with the Lake Constance. So a lot of outdoor activities are possible. Nice people, a lot of student communities, our Indian Students Council. So these are the things that you should take into consideration. Obviously, the choice is up to you, decision where to study what. I would like to inform you a bit. I think it's good if you think openly about it, and I wish you all the best with your decision. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Tessa, for the presentation and the details. Dear attendees, yeah, you have already a base to start deciding for your programs. Now I would like to share my screen. And actually we have a better the timeline for the program presentations, because first we go with bachelors and then we go with masters. Here comes another bachelor from 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘳𝘵𝘪𝘯𝘨, Martin Luther University, Halle-Wittenberg. And thank you, Professor Thomas Martin, for being here to introduce another bachelor's in engineering. Yes,
all right. I would like to inform you about the program at the 𝘗𝘢𝘪𝘳𝘵𝘪𝘳𝑏𝑢𝑟g. It's another University of Applied Science, just the same type as my colleague, Professor Stettner, just has informed you about a small university in a small town. Our degree program is called Engineering and Management, and it's an interdisciplinary program combining engineering subjects with economy subjects, with business administration subjects. We are a small place. You've just seen Germany. Ravensburg is on the very southwest corner. We are right in the center of Germany. So you see Merseburg here, and what you also can see is here is Berlin. So we are about 2 hours from Berlin, 1.5 to 2 hours from Berlin, next to two major cities, Halle and Leipzig. But the city itself is a fairly small place. Sorry, I go one back. It's a fairly small place, 35,000 inhabitants, and 10% of these are students at our university. It is a fairly old place, though the buildings looking quite modern. It is within a very large green area, which you can see on this picture. The main building is formed like an F, and everything is in there. All the 3 major faculties of engineering, economics, and social sciences. Just this is the whole a map of the whole campus, and I just want to point out the background is green and there are lots of trees around. That's in reality like that. So it's not just an artist's picture, but we are embedded in a very green environment. That's a natural park right next to it, and the city itself is about 20 minutes walk from the university. This is our rector. We have about 112 professors and teaching staff, and the number of students is 3,000, so even smaller than Ravensburg, and so the ratio of supervision is very good. About 20% of all our students are of international origin. It depends a bit on the subject, but in engineering, definitely we are a lot of international students from all around the world. The program I'm presenting to you today, Engineering and Management, the program starts 1st of October. So we just started this year's batch. But I think it's a good point, and I will point that out later, why it is important to inform you early and you apply early, because there are times for the visa application can take very long. There's no numbers for international or seats reserved for international students or German students, so that's completely open. I saw that was one of the questions in the chat. So there's some programs where it's maybe more international students, other programs there are less international students. The engineering and management is almost entirely international students, though we're running that now in the 3rd year, and there's always German students in that program too. So there's also that connection. Now, what does the course look like? First of all, I mentioned that already. We have 16 bachelor degree courses in 3 major subjects: the engineering and natural sciences, social work and media culture, and economics and business administration. So it's a university with a lot of variety. That's a program I want to talk about in more detail. It takes 6 semesters, so 3 years to complete. And the major or the speciality is, and that's the module map overview. Don't worry that you can't read that. I want to point out the colors. Yeah, on the left side of that picture, you see the blue colors. These are courses you take at our university. These are all the engineering subjects, starting with very basics. I'll talk about that in a moment. On the right side, or in the middle, I would say, the green colored subjects, they are with our partner, the University of Halle. Now, I already mentioned the University of Halle is a major city nearby. It's about 20 kilometers away, but very well connected by train. So the train takes 10 minutes from Halle station to Merseburg station. And the business administration, economics, and legal courses, subjects are taught there. And it is a combined program between the University of Halle and the University of Applied Science, Merseburg. And there is Merseburg days and there is Halle days. So it is very well organized so that you don't have to change between within one day, but you change on a daily basis. So maybe 2 days in Halle and 2 days in Merseburg. And it doesn't matter where you live. Some people live in Halle, and then you can easily go by train to Merseburg. And on the other way around, if you live in Merseburg, you go by train on Halle. And the train journey is actually included in your student card. So the train journey, the train travel is free. It is actually free for local trains in all Germany, because with your student card in Merseburg, we include what is called the Deutschland ticket, which is a public transport ticket for all Germany, for all local trains and city transport. Okay, now I want to go more into detail about the subject and engineering. In the bottom 2 lines, you see you have the very basics, math, physics, chemistry, and then you go more into the engineering subjects. Now, our region is not so much automotives or so, but we are a chemical production area. There's the largest chemical production site in Germany is very nearby. It's just 5 kilometers south of Merseburg. It's called Leuna, and you might have heard of Buna, which is just north of Merseburg. It's an old product which is known around the world. It's a synthetic rubber called Buna that's produced here and originated from here. So in this area, the major industry is chemical production. A big oil refinery is nearby, and many of our students are working in these companies around here. Now, I mentioned the green subjects are the business administration subjects, and then the orange subjects, the 2 columns on the right, it's an either or, depending what you are. For the English speakers, English native speaker, or when you have an English certificate, you will learn German from the first to the last semester. You don't have to have any prerequisites of German language. Yeah, but we think it is important that you come at least in the 3 years you reach B2 level. Yeah, so you start with A1, yeah, not knowing anything at all, and you will end up with a B2 level. If you're a German speaker, I don't know if any of our guests are German speakers, you will need a second foreign language. It can be either English or Spanish or French, whatever you like. Yeah, we have a lot of German language classes at the university itself. Then there are some electives in the higher terms, so I don't want to go more into detail that. But the career prospects are very good. As a person who have this interdisciplinary knowledge on both engineering sides with a focus on chemical engineering and the project management or the business administration aspects, you're very well suited for a management career in a project management. If you are into business where you have the combination of engineering, for example, in sales or in the supply management in a company, so that is a typical career you can do with this combined degree of engineering and management. In German, we call that Wirtschaftsingenieur. Yeah, it's a common education in Germany, so it is always a engineering subject depending on where you are. Depending on the university, it can be mechanical engineering or electric, or in our case, it's chemical engineering combined with management and business administration. Now, what are the admission requirements? I'll have a short summary of this here. It's a non-restricted course. Yeah, so any university entry qualification is good. Yeah, for example, A levels or any equivalent, whatever is in your country. But you have to have in your A level equivalent have to have mathematics with a grade at least 75%. So depending on whatever is your marking system, in German that would be a 2.5. So that's a 2.5 in a scale of 1, the best, and 6 is the worst. Yeah, if you are in a 0 to 20 grading, then it would be something like 15 or so, 15 marks, a grade of 15, whatever. And the second subject you have to have in your university entry qualification is one natural science subject. Yeah, which could be either physics or chemistry or biology or any other subject, whatever. I thought of astronomy, maybe that's a natural science too. Yeah, so that is the prerequisite you have to have. The application goes via UniAssist, which is a general German national approval body. If you have a non-German educational qualification. If you have a German one, if you have a degree or you have a Hochschulzugangsberechtigung, so an admission document, you also can apply directly at the university. But normally, if you're an international student, you have to go the application via UniAssist. It costs a little bit of money, but I think something like 75 euros. But it's I think that's fair for the service you get there. The deadline for the application, I said before, we start at the 1st of August. The deadline is end of August. Yeah, but then that is only the deadline for the UniAssist application. Yeah. All right, I said something about the English certificates. You need an English certificate. There's lots of different ones mentioned here. Depending on what you have, I can explain that in detail if you're interested. But the very last line is very important. We see just from experience with international students, the application usually is no problem. Yeah, the problem in different countries is the time which is necessary for the visum application. That then can take half a year or sometimes even longer. Yeah, so you can get an admission even now for the October start, but please then do the application process at the moment, as soon as possible, and then with the letter of admission, you can start applying for your visum, and you will need that for from many countries. You will need a visum in Germany, and that we just know from experience it can take a very long time. And unfortunately, we do have cases where people get the admission and they cannot start the program because it is the visa application is delayed and it takes a long time. And then sometimes they arrive in November or in January or whatever, and then half the term is gone already. And then it will be very difficult. So please start your application early. And that's actually not true only for Merseburg, but it's for every university in Germany. Okay, if you want to know further information, general information, that's Ms. 𝘗𝘀 or very specifically on the course of engineering and management, Ms. Verena Neumann, she is happy to help, or my colleague, Professor Schubert, is the supervisor of that course. So this concludes my presentation, and I hope you had gained some insight in the program, and we of course would be very happy to welcome you here in Merseburg. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Professor Martin, for the presentation, all the insights. I tried to assist you in chat with placing some article about UniAssist due to the application procedure. Dear attendees, if you don't know how to apply via UniAssist, the module map with lots of colors is also in a chat as a link, so feel free to open if you want to know more. A GPA calculator, and finally, as Professor Martin mentioned, the visa processing time is long, and we also have articles so that you see approximately what time it's needed for you. But yeah, start the procedure as soon as you can. All right, thank you very much. And with this, and I would like to give this virtual mic to Harm Paulsen, who will be talking about MBA Technology Management from NIT. It's nearby in Hamburg. So you can start.
Just a second. Okay. Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for joining. Just at the beginning, I just can say that I totally agree to Professor Thomas Martin that the visa issues is really a problem. So also my advice is whatever you want to study in Germany, apply as soon as possible just to start your visa process. Is going to help you a lot. Otherwise, also we have the problem that some of our students cannot start that study program because they do not have their visa. So also my advice, start as soon as possible. That's going to help you, definitely. So today I want to talk about the NIT. The NIT is a business school. It's the business school of the Technical University of Hamburg. And it is, just a second, it's located in Hamburg in the north of Germany. First of all, I just want to give you some insights about Hamburg. Hamburg is known in Germany as the gate to the world. In the surroundings or in the metropolitan area of Hamburg, there live more than 5 million people. Here, for example, just see the Alster in the middle of Hamburg. And we do have a lot of industry, of course. We have a lot of, we have Airbus, for example, just one company. We have a lot of refineries. We have a lot of chemical industry. We have a lot of industry concerning the circular economy, but of course also a lot of industries concerning computers. So one of our biggest company partners, for example, is NXP of semiconductors. But there's definitely Hamburg is also one of the culture hubs in Germany. Hamburg is the second biggest city in Germany, just after Berlin. But now just to talk about the NIT, the business school of the Technical University of Hamburg was founded in 1998 by professors of the Hamburg University of Technology. We are a non-profit organization and provide the official management study program of the 𝘱𝘳 and have been the first private business school in Northern Germany. So we have been the first ones who, where you have the possibility to study an MBA program in Germany, in Northern Germany. Our program is FIBA accredited, so it's worldwide renowned. And this, for example, is our own main building. We are located in the middle of the 𝘱𝘳 campus in our own building, where the lectures take care and a lot of our students, for example, live. I'm going to show you some pictures about the student apartments later on. We have a mission, and what we want to do is providing excellent management education for engineers. This is the main part our whole curriculum is built up for. And what makes us special, for example, is that at the NIT, you have the possibility to study an MBA program at the weekend, combined with a Master of Science at the 𝘱𝘳 in the week. So our technology management program, just a second, please, just to have an overview concerning the curriculum, is mainly, of course, all management issues you ever need, but we have a big focus on the business development. And we are very special concerning this business development. So, for example, in our classes, not bigger than about 35 students per year and intake. You start normally in the first semester with a project. This can be your own project. This can be a startup. This can be a project of one of our company partners, for example, and also some topics you're just going to figure out with your professors. And these projects are going through all the semesters. So they can take up, if you want to, up 3 semesters. And later on, you can write your master thesis concerning this topic. Has the bit advantage that you just can learn all the steps of, for example, of building or having an idea of a project, later on building the project, look for a market of the project, and later on even do your startup on the project. This is also possible. So what I just mentioned slide before, our double degree. At the NIT, you have the possibility to combine a Master of Science with a Master of Business Administration. So most of our students, for example, study from Monday to Friday, a Master of Science at the 𝘱𝘳, and from Friday to Sunday, a Master of Business Administration at the NIT. It's all completely taught in English. And well, on the left side, for example, you see the English spoken programs at the 𝘱𝘳. You can combine with the Master of Business Administration. That seems or that sounds like a pretty hard program. It's definitely, well, doable. It's possible to get these 2 years to master. A lot of our students can do that. If, for example, you need 2.5 years or 3 years, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any changes. But you also have, of course, the possibility to study just the Master of Business Administration. At the NIT, this can take place from Friday to Sunday because some of our students do this in parallel to a working student job, or even they do it combined with a PhD, for example. But of course, it's also possible just to study this program during the week. Due to the fact that it's a Master of Business Administration, an MBA program, we do have tuition fees. For the tuition fees, it's always a bit difficult, just depending on the program you're going or the ECTS program you need. Therefore, it's pretty individual. Normally, for the 90 ECS program, the Technology Management program, it's about 26,750 euro for the entire program. So for the 2 years, or even if you need 3 years, doesn't matter. It's always going to cost 26,750 euro. When you combine this one with the Master of Science at the 𝘱𝘳, that doesn't cost any extra because the university, the Technical University of Hamburg is a public university. There's going to be no tuition fees for the Master of Science. Concerning our students, for example, more than 70% of the NIT students come from abroad, mostly from Latin America and from Asia. Just about 20% of the students are coming from Germany. So even not just in lectures, in the whole NIT building, just the English is the main language going to be spoken because the students come from all over the world. Concerning the 𝘱𝘳, 𝘱𝘳 has more than 25% of international students. It's one, I think it's about top 3 public universities concerning internationality. So even at the 𝘱𝘳, mostly can be done with English. Just some successful students, just if you want to have a look at your possibilities, if you study the dual degree program, I just can point out, just gonna have a look at LinkedIn, at the LinkedIn profile of the NIT alumni, and you're going to find a lot of outstanding careers there. Just doesn't matter if it's, for example, for the consulting companies or for software companies, or even for big, for Tesla or for Lufthansa. Just a lot of possibilities later on concerning your careers. The employability rate at the NIT is pretty high. Normally, an NIT student gets his job offer during the master thesis because mostly the master thesis are done with one of our company partners. But normally at least about 3, sometimes really in some cases, 4 or 5 months after finishing a master thesis, you're in a job somewhere in Germany or in Europe. That's pretty normal at the NIT. So just what I wanted to tell you about the NIT building. In the upper floors of the NIT building, we have for our students, because we just take about 30 students per year, we have 64 student apartments so that you can live and learn at the NIT. You get your own apartment with a kitchenette, with an own bathroom. We have common kitchens, a lot of common rooms where not just lectures take place, where we cook together or have some leisure times. And just at the end, concerning the requirements to study the double degree program, your grades must be in the upper fourth, and your English level must be a C1 English level, or it's IELTS 6.5. And as I mentioned, for the MBA program, we have tuition fees, and these tuition fees are 26,750 euro. And now this is also, yeah, I'm finished with my presentation, and just thanks for listening to me. And if you have any questions, just later on the Q&A session would be excellent. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Harm, for the presentation. Dear attendees, I will also post the list of the required documents in the chat, because you also need
Thank you very much.
CV
Yeah.
and so on. And yeah, maybe you want to look at that. And please note that there is an online application form. This is already mentioned.
Okay, thank you.
Just give me, yeah. Now, last but not least, we go to Berlin. And we give the floor to Valentin Eingartner, who will be talking about another master's in global production engineering from Technische Universität Berlin. And yeah, the next 15 minutes are at your disposal.
Okay, thank you, Nino. I will screen, which you hopefully see right now.
We do.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, my name is Valentin Eingartner, and I'm going to present to you a short introduction into our in our study program Global Production Engineering at the Technische Universität Berlin. That's what we are supposed to say, Technical University of Berlin. And let's have a look into our program. As you might know, the program is a Master of Science. So in the end, you will be having a Master of Science when you graduate in Global Production Engineering from Technical University of Berlin. And it's a very international master program with participants from over 40 countries of origin. Sometimes we have a little bit less, but it's the goal is to have students from all over the world meeting in Berlin and doing the program together. The language of instruction is English, so as opposed to other programs, there's no need for a German certificate or a German language in the beginning, though there is a course of German language also for engineers, so more technical German, if you are aiming to learn German as well. It is a 4 semesters course, of which 3 semesters are for credits or for course credits, and then in the end you are doing a master thesis and a internship. I'm gonna tell you that more specifically in a moment. We have around 1,600 students. This is not the most recent number. We are a little bit further now, at around 1,800 students since 1989. And our education is, as other of the programs that were presented today, also close to industrial requirements, and to make sure we have a good balance between scientific education and industrial requirements, or close to industry. Our lecturers are both from science and from industry, depending on which courses you are taking and which modules you are going to listen to. What we do have is a very individual guidance for students. So usually we do close, you will see this on the next slide, we do close guidance for all the students. We can answer all the questions. As you might know, TU Berlin is a quite large university, and we have our own administration, meaning that we can cater to the needs of our students a lot better than other programs at the TU Berlin. We do have a lot of applicants every year, and the quota of acceptance is a little bit less than 7%, as we have 70 spaces or 70 places for every intake, and we do have an alumni network. Excuse me. Our competence portfolio, our courses are mostly in the fields of sustainable global engineering and management. So we care a lot about educating engineers for the future, and that also includes taking responsibility for future developments, and this is in engineering and in management. Our courses are usually multidisciplinary. We have lecturers from a lot of different disciplines, and also we do have a lot of project-oriented teaching. So a lot of courses have a lecture parallelly to a project that has to be done. And with all of that, we are aiming to prepare managers of technology for the requirements of global markets, also for the future. As I said, we do have a very close guidance, and for that, we do have quite a large team, which includes two sides. On the one side, you see Professor Holger Kohl. He is the head of my department, and he's the dean of GPE, as we call it. And on the other side, we do have our administration with Professor Seliger, who is the founder of Global Production, and he is still active with us, and he's a very valuable and knowledgeable source for us. So how does the study program look? We do have a 4-semester program, as I said. This itinerary, so to say, is for you if you were to apply for next intake. So it would start in October 2025 with 3 semesters of quite intensive study. We do have 90 credit points in the 3 semesters in the beginning, and then 1 semester including your internship and your master thesis. Usually we would, it is a requirement for the internship to be outside of your usual cultural circle, so outside of your home country, which can be Germany. But any other country in the world also is possible to have your internship. We help you with finding an internship position. We do have application training with our German teacher, so you can find a way into German industry as well. In the end, master thesis, of course, has the requirements of a scientific master thesis. And I think this is for 12 credits, and 18 credits and 12 credits for the internship. So in the end, you will have 120 credit points. The scope is in 5 different module groups, which are production, engineering, management, intercultural communication, and a special profile. The first 3 are quite straightforward and easy to understand. What is it actually? Production has subjects like factory planning and management or production technology, very close to actual production. Then we have the module group of engineering, which is connected to all engineering topics that are not production. So product development is a big topic here. But also we have a track that we call NET, New Energy Technologies. And this specific photo is from a PV photovoltaic course where you study the theoretical basis of PV systems. And then in a second semester, there are many different experiments teaching you the principles of PV a little bit closer. We also have an engineering course about wind technology, where students are designing a blade for a wind turbine, and then in a wind chamber, they are actually testing out the mechanical properties of that blade, and therefore are rating their design. In management, obviously, we have management topics like quality management, production management, which is called global production management, and other management topics. And then the interesting part of intercultural communication is the module group of teaching you how to, as a global manager or global production manager, how to communicate and how to manage interdisciplinary and intercultural teams. We do have a project management course in there, but also there's a course called Global Innovation Management Systems, which is closely related to norms and how to use those and so on. And the special profile is also a very interesting in terms of new or newish technologies which are being taught, and newish courses, new topics. And this is a profile that always comes into play in new courses. Then what you see here is we have requirements, but this is the only requirement for your curriculum, which can be very, very, very individually designed. The only requirement is to have 12 credit points from each of the module groups, except the special profile. So as we mostly have 6 credits modules, you have to hear or do 2 modules from each group, except for the special profile. Meaning that 36 of the remaining credits are completely free to your choice and completely free to your individual desires. The module or the courses that are actually in the program, you can see here, we have additive manufacturing, for example, and production module group, but you can scan this QR code. We do have a detailed module list on the website for this year's module or for this year's intake, but you can also expect the modules or the module groups to expand a little bit. We are currently developing more courses related to artificial intelligence in production and automation. So you can expect the curriculum to grow a little bit. What are the requirements for the program? The requirements are pretty straightforward. We have the requirement that you have a bachelor degree. It has to be in engineering in some way. It doesn't have to be a production engineering bachelor or something. Sometimes we accept also management degrees if the reason and the motivation is clear, how you are keeping up with the engineering courses. But usually the students come from bachelor or from an engineering background. And as you have heard in the beginning, we need quite excellent grades compared to other students who are applying. Then, as we are not a usual master program, but we are a consecutive master program, which in Germany means that it is a further education master program, we need you to have at least one year of working experience. And this is after your bachelor degree. So if you did an internship during your bachelor degree, we cannot count that in to that year. But internships can be accepted and will be even evaluated individually. Additionally, of course, as the language of instruction is English, we need you to have an English certificate, IELTS of 6.5 or something that is comparable. We accept TOEFL as well, or other usual accreditation organizations. What we do not accept is if you did your bachelor degree in English. This is not sufficient because we had the experience that the English level still has to grow a little bit. If you are an English speaker from your mother tongue, if you are from America or something, that obviously is sufficient. Now, so much maybe about the program, and now a little bit about our university or Berlin itself. As you might know, Berlin is a very metropolitan city. It's the capital of Germany, and therefore there's a lot of lively things going on. This is just a few sites that you can visit. For me, though, the most exciting thing about Berlin and the city is that it has a lot of small centers that are very different from each other. So there is something to experience for everyone and every taste. And that is very, very nice. Furthermore, it is a very historic city. As you might know, it has been separated after the Second World War. Just yesterday, no, the day before yesterday, we celebrated 35 Jahre Mauerfall, so 35 years of the wall coming down. And it is just a very, very lively city, and I just love living there, and I can only expect that everybody who moves there will have a good experience. And in this, we do have the TU Berlin. I don't want to get into that too closely. It is just a very, very large university with around 35,000 students. We have around 8,000 people of staff, so it's a very, very big university. We have a wide range of subjects, which is not only engineering, we have also economics, humanities, arts, and so on. And what is very nice is that we have a high rate of foreign students with around 25% and growing. Our program, though, is taught at the Production Technology Center, which you can see here, which is directly at the border of the Spree. This is our test field, which is one of the places where you will be taught and you will have courses. But also, this is where our research is going on a lot. This is just to show you our possibilities. We have over 2,000 square meters of laboratories where we can see and teach and research technologies of production. Okay, so this is just another reminder. What we actually do research about is production management, which I am closely related to, but also we have chairs for product development, product design, and then obviously Production Technology Center is also umbrella for all kinds of production technologies, for machine tools, for automation in production. Okay, so I do have one more slide about an alumni, about the usual path that we have for our students or the students choose. The bachelor is usually done in home countries or international universities, and then students come oftentimes to the TU Berlin for global production engineering, doing their internships somewhere else, completely different. In this case, he was doing it at Daimler Chrysler, which is now called Daimler-Benz, in Japan. And then he was hired as an engineer at BMW. And then only after 10 years after graduation, he moved back to BMW at his home country to work there and pursue a career in production management. With this, I would like to conclude. Our application deadlines are starting or have already started and are open until March 31st. This QR code will get you directly to the application page, but you can also have a look at our website or at the My German University website as well. Thank you very much for your attention. And now let's go and answer your questions.
Much to you too for the presentation and all the details. Yeah, let's start with the Q&A. First of all, thank you very much for taking the questions in written as well. And now I will try to group them. And first, I would like to take a few of them myself. First was about a number of questions about English language. Dear attendees, many of the or all of the programs mentioned what are their requirements. In most cases, language of instruction was not sufficient, but if there was an exception for one on any of the programs, feel free to check out on the course pages. Because it already was mentioned a few times during presentations, we don't want to go over that again. The other point was, and especially for bachelor's programs, about the job and internship. So like I will be asking both bachelor's programs in this regard. Students are frequently scared how this job or internship, mandatory internship works. Do you have I'm sure you have support, but is it also support in terms of some reserved seats for the program participants with partner companies? Maybe Professor Steta and then Professor Martin.
Okay, I can start. I mean, it doesn't go so far as reserved seats. We have very good relationship to the companies in our region, and there are many companies, but from the contracts, they usually do not reserve the seats because it's not in their interest to have reservations for 3 or 4 years up front. So there is support, there are good chances, but not strictly reserved seats.
Was addressed?
Yeah, sure.
What was the question? Sorry, I didn't get that. What was
the question was about the internship, mandatory internship.
Oh, the mandatory internship, yeah. Yes,
yeah.
Usually people apply for them themselves, and the companies around us. I mean, I mentioned before, we are in a chemical production site. These sites, they have 10,000 employees and bigger, yeah, per site, but there are hundreds of companies, yeah. The big international companies, everybody knows, Dow or DuPont or Linde or yeah, the oil company, the Total Energies refinery. So they are all international companies. Some of them are, their company language is English anyway. Yeah, so that's no problem at all. And they're very open to international students. Yeah, but we do assist them. It's also possible, I saw it, one of the questions was in the chat that you also can do that, your internship anywhere in the world. Yeah, we are happy to do that. And we supervise you then online, for example, or we might even visit you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much for bringing that out. I wanted to follow up on that, saying, is it possible to do internship abroad? And I believe it's same for Professor Teta. Yeah, all right, thank you. Now, work-related question for master's degree, but on a different angle. You both have requirement to show previous work experience. Do you have any specific guidelines on how or what the position should be? And also, do you need a recommendation from the employer? Maybe Harm Paulsen could start, and then.
Well, normally it's just about having 1 year of work experience, and it doesn't matter if it's, for example, an internship or a job. It's just have to be certified that there was 1 year of employment, and it even could be in another field. It's a bit an issue by the German law. So it does not meant to be in an engineering field. It could be even, and for example, in consulting, for example.
It is very similar to us. We do have 1 year that you have to prove that you were in a job. At our program, it is probably a good idea to have it be somehow related to manufacturing or to value creation in general. But it's not a hard requirement. It's just a way of us to compare the applications.
Okay, a follow-up question here comes. Can the work experience be accepted if the internship was part of the bachelor's degree 30 ECTS practical training?
Not for us, because the 1 year or the 12 months of working experience have to be after you graduated. So in this case, it's not possible.
In IT?
Yeah, it's absolutely the same. You have to have your work experience after your bachelor degree, and therefore it doesn't count. And it's always, if a work experience is required, it's always going to be a work experience after the bachelor degree.
All right.
Doesn't matter which
Thank
university.
Thank you. Now I want to, from my side, for the bachelor's program, there were questions about the admission possibilities. Dear attendees, when you're applying for bachelor's, you need to make sure that, or as professors already mentioned, you need to make sure that you have qualification that equals German and university entrance qualification. You can check that on ANABIN database. If you cannot do so, there is also a 𝘗𝘪𝘵 search for proof. You can check it on 𝘗𝘪𝘵. I can post the link in chat as well. But there usually are two options. If you do not have direct application permission, you can either do a Studienkolleg or you can do 1 year of the university in your home country, and then it already will be equivalent for the German entrance qualification. Some programs also do have their own Studienkollegs, so you could then do a prep course in Germany. But please take into account that usually these prep courses are in German, so you will need to have at least B1 or B2 level German. Yeah, Professor Martin, feel free to.
Yeah, on the English requirement, there was some question in the chat, and I tried to answer that in typing, but I might talk about that openly. Of course, we know that there's lots of countries in the world where English is a second language or the national language. So there was one attendee from Nigeria, and I definitely accept that you are proficient in English. However, unfortunately, in Germany, we always require a certificate. So even if a country in the world has English as a second national language or a national language, we do need some requirement, except of the countries where we think about native speaking, like the UK, Ireland, USA, Canada, Australia. So these are the 5, and Singapore, I think, as well, is part of that. If you're from somewhere else, you do need some kind of certificate. Nino, is there any experience with you that when students come to Germany from countries where English is a national language, like I think also Malaysia is, we have some experience with Malaysia, and do you have any experience there? When it's something completely unusual to have a certificate if because the people or the countries or the the applicants say, yeah, well, I don't have anything because I was taught in English, but we don't consider that as a national as a native speaker.
Yeah, and especially if the application is via UniAssist, and UniAssist will directly look at the requirement, and if it's not listed, then they will unfortunately reject without even forwarding your application further to the university. So to be on a safe side, and if you also consider yourself a native speaker, I believe it will not be that difficult to take one exam. So you need to schedule it in advance, but then it will be worse because then you are definitely in the program.
Is English in a school certificate, is that accepted? You know, when you have if you have your A-level program and you have 4 years of English there, like we do with German as well, with German students?
It depends on the program, but so far what I have heard, no.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, but I cannot, of course, generalize because it could be private universities could also have different regulations. So yeah. All right. I think there was also one question which is a bit I don't fully understand it and also to whom it refers, but it was a question: can students take more electives than required and then not take exams? Maybe from Berlin, you could start.
Yeah, sure. For global production engineering, that's possible. We offer course participation only without credits. The courses won't be credited then, though. So you can only take 90 credits worth of courses with a grade. And if you're just interested in some courses or most of the courses, they offer participation only.
Yeah. Harm, would you like to add on that for NIT? You are muted.
Sorry, I do not know if I really got the question. So, is it not to have an exam, or is it?
Can somebody attend additional elective just for the sake of interest and not take the exam, just to listen to the course? I believe, I don't know.
Of course, it's possible, but it doesn't make doesn't make sense because to get a degree, you have to collect ECTS points. And so, of course, you even can buy you in some courses. It's always possible. But in most cases, it doesn't make any sense.
Professor Martin, you could.
Yes, if I understand the question right, if you can replace compulsory courses with elective courses. Well, for our university, I definitely can say that's not possible. If you have a compulsory course, you have to take that. And then you have one module where you can have elective courses, which are many different ones, and you can choose any of these, and you can do more if you want. Yeah, and you at least in our diploma supplement, what we provide at the end with our certificate, they're all listed what you've done additionally. Yeah, but they don't count for the final mark you get or the final degree you get. Yeah, but of course you can attend, and attending is for free and it's no problem. Yeah, if you are a very busy student and very keen student, fine. We are very happy about that, to attend more elective courses. But the compulsory courses you definitely have to do, and you cannot replace compulsory with electives.
Thank you. And Professor Teta?
Exactly the same situation. In fact, our students do it rather a lot. There are especially some electives like sustainability, which are for the whole university, and then it's often taken as an additional elective, which is then listed also in the final certificate, but does not count.
Great. Thank you, everybody, for the time and for presenting your programs and also taking the questions. Dear attendees, you have lots of programs to select from, 2 from bachelor's, 2 from master's level. So feel free to start already filing or collecting your application documents, starting motivation letters already now, whatever documents are needed. I do see some open questions again about the English, which was already answered. And one big question is about housing, which will be better if you check on the university pages, because all of them, or many of them, do provide information about Studentenwerk and also the student dormitory possibilities. And depending on the city size, it would be also vary. So an apartment in Berlin could be a bit harder to be found. So in this regard as well, you need to start early. Other than that, the next steps are as follows. You will receive a follow-up email from me on Monday. And then I encourage you directly contacting the preferred program representatives. And again, yeah, best of luck with your application. If you have questions, feel free to get back to us or them directly, as you like.